Let us now invite Dr. Biswarup Roy Chowdhury to come to the stage and share all his ideas with you. Dr. Biswarup.
Good afternoon, friends. Nothing in this world can destroy your happiness more than trying to live with illness, trying to live with sickness. Humans are the only animal who are sick most of the time. Have you ever heard a cat dying of a heart attack? Or a dog with high blood pressure, cow with diabetes, high blood sugar? Maybe in case of pets, because they had to follow the similar lifestyle as of humans. So they become sick sometimes. Right? So we have diabetes center in Ho Chi Minh City, that's in Vietnam, in New Delhi, in India, and Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. And we have many patients from Singapore who visit our center. If I talk of these 4 countries, Singapore, Malaysia, India, the urban setup cities, and Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, one thing is common, that about 1/3 of the death is because of heart disease. Here I see approximately we are about 300, including me and Mr. Mukdiyar. About 100 of us are going to die of heart disease. So, why we are so sick? Why we are ill most of the time? We have to find, we have to investigate, and is there any solution? Maybe sometimes people say that lack of exercise or something. Is it really true? Or if we exercise every day or do yoga every day, does that mean that we can ensure that we will never be sick, at least of lifestyle disease? If you remember, in 1970s, one person called James Fix, he taught the world how to run. The bestseller book, 1970s. At the age of 50, he died of heart attack. I'm not saying running causes heart attack. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that it will not ensure that you are free of your heart attack proof, your brain stroke proof. Right? So it's just we are trying to explore. And maybe in this process you may have a lot of questions, keep on writing. At the end, if we have time, we'll have a question answer round also. Right? Because most of the things which you are going to hear may be in contradiction with what you already know. Right? So here today it is about reversing diabetes. First of all, what is diabetes? Diabetes is not a disease. It is not an illness. It only means high amount of sugar in your blood. Here the title of today's training is Reversing Diabetes in 72 hours. 72 hours means exactly 3 days. Why? Because diabetes is not a disease. It is not classified as a disease. It only means high amount of sugar in your blood. If you are able to take out that excess amount of sugar in your blood, you are off diabetes. So how to do it? That's what we are going to understand in next 2 hours. So, but how high is high? We have to first understand that. First of all, why there should be sugar in the blood? At this moment, you are able to understand what I am saying, you are able to comprehend, you are able to respond, and most important, you are alive. We are made of millions of billions of cells, as we know, and each of the cells, to live, they need a constant source of energy. Blood, as a transportation system, it transports the sugar as a most important source of energy to each of the cells. Sugar is burned by the cells, and cells get converts the sugar into energy, and that is the energy which is keeping us alive. Sugar is energy. No sugar, no energy, no life. Sugar is good or bad? It is good, because sugar is the primary, the most important source of energy. Without sugar, we cannot live even a single second. High sugar is good or bad? Doctor said that you are having blood sugar 500 mg per deciliter. very, very high. This means you're full of energy, isn't it? Here we have to understand a little bit. For that you can compare it with the transportation system of your city. Yeah? So, the transport system, there are transports like car and buses, etc. So similarly your blood is a transport system. About 100,000 kilometers of transportation system. It transports the sugar, it transports the nutrient, it transports the oxygen. If the amount of sugar in the blood is more than what it should be, this means it blocks the transportation system. It is a kind of traffic jam. That means who will suffer? Children will not be able to reach their school at the right time because of traffic jam. People will be able to reach to their office at the right time. The patient will not be able to get transported to the hospital at the right time. So who will suffer in the city if traffic jam happens? Virtually everybody. If the same thing happens in the body, which organ will suffer? All the organs. So this means anybody who is having high amount of sugar, first of all, what is high amount of sugar, how high is high, I'll come to it. But those who are having high amount of sugar for long time, it is seen they are the one who suffer from more of a heart disease, more kidney patient, more eye disease, and virtually all the organs get affected in comparison to somebody who is having a normal sugar level. Normal sugar level may not guarantee that you will never be ill of heart disease, but the chances is lesser than the people who normally have a higher amount of sugar in the lifetime. Here the best thing about the whole is, if you want, you can take out the excess sugar and in 2 days or 3 days you can have a normal sugar level. If you want, right? But how to do it, that I'm going to show you today, and maybe this is today's first, right? Second, third, fourth. That is by 4th of December, you can be diabetes free. Right? You heard me right. 4th of December, you can be diabetes free. What I mean to say, what I mean when I say diabetes free, it just means that without taking the medicine, you are maintaining the same glucose level as you are maintaining now with the medicine. So that means you are diabetes free. That means you are medicine free, you are drug free. And once you are able to achieve that, then something amazing starts happening. That in the last few years, because of high amount of sugar, and also you are taking drugs to suppress the sugar, there had been a lot of damage already happened. The body starts reversing those damage. Because high sugar in itself is not a problem, but it is damaging the body, right? That is a major problem. Here, to start with, we are maintaining a sugar level. The range, as told by the doctor, this is a safe range. Many of the people are maintaining that, but with medication. Now, what happens when you take medicine? You are taking a pill and then you check the blood sugar, it comes to the range. Right? So, but where the sugar goes, where it vanishes? You take the pill, before pill the blood sugar is high, but when you take the pill, then again you check the blood sugar in the blood, it is normal. Right? So where that excess amount goes, where does it vanish? Magically it vanishes, right? Does it get thrown out of the body? What do you think, where that it might have gone? Let's try to understand that. This is the most important thing. Before you take the next pill, you have to understand this. I am taking a pill, and why I am taking? Because I want my sugar level to be down. But you have to ask yourself a question, you must know the answer of the question, that where the sugar went away from the blood. Right? If you don't know the answer of this question, where it has gone out, you should not take the next pill. Okay, let's do a small experiment to make you understand this. Today, after this lecture, I'll go to KL, because tomorrow is a similar kind of training program in KL. Right? So I have a little problem, you have to solve my problem. The problem is that this is the suitcase, and I have a lot of luggage because I did a little bit of shopping here, and some of the books and clothes which I bought from the city, this is not my bag. I just borrowed the bag from Bhoktiarthi, right? But the luggage inside it, that's mine. So I want you, some of you, to help me put the material in the luggage in this bag inside this, right? So that it is, then only I can fly. Who can help you? Anybody? I want you to help me to put this luggage in this. At least you can try to do it. Who can try to help? Yeah? No? Yes? You're suspicious, there must be something else. Right? Yeah. It is as simple as that. I have to put the luggage. Okay, there are, what's there inside? Okay, a bag. Then there are 2 shawls. And there are some books. That's all. Who can do it? Yeah, please. Wonderful. Yeah. Anybody can help him?
Yes.
Yeah, please come. And let's do it together. We put this inside. Yeah, yes. Now, some more books, please. Okay. You can just try to fit wherever you can. Yeah. Now, I think it will go. Now, yeah. Now, maybe this one. One magazine also. You see? Okay. Now, one small book. Okay, maybe this empty paper bag. This one. Okay, let's try to fit it. Let's try to close the chain. Yeah. Wonderful. They did it. So, but now still this much is left. Right. Now, thank you for helping me. But they have helped only partially because still some luggage is left. Now, you see, they could manage to put most of the things inside the bag. But if I request some more time, maybe some of you may try to put this also inside the bag, isn't it? Right? And maybe some more luggage, if I say, okay, I want to put this coat also inside, some of you may also try that even. But ultimately, what is going to happen? Right? At one point of time, the bag will be torn, isn't it? Right? So, the same thing happens when you take the diabetes pills. Right? So, let me explain what happens when you take the diabetes pills. So, when you take the medicine, the sugar in the blood, the medicine, the pill, it throws the sugar from the blood, it hides into the heart, or it hides into the kidney, or in some other organ, right? So when you check the blood sugar, you're not checking the sugar amount in the body, you're checking the sugar amount in the blood. That is surely less. But what about the sugar amount in the body? That is the same. The only difference is, instead of the sugar in the blood, now it is being thrown in the heart, it is thrown in the kidney, it is thrown in the lungs, and what happens? That sugar in the heart cells, it spoils the heart, suffering from heart disease. It spoils the kidney, suffering from kidney failure. It spoils the blood vessel of the eye, right? Eye disease, right? So, by taking medicine, you are not at all helping yourself in making your life longer or healthier, right? You are doing nothing. Right? It is just a satisfaction that my blood sugar is normal. But important is the total amount of sugar, not just the blood sugar. Right? So whenever you take pills, it do not help in any way to cure or to live a longer life. It helps only those people who have sold you the pills, not you yourself, right? So now that is about the pills. At one point of time, maybe you have been taking diabetes pills for last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. At one point of time, like these two gentlemen, they said, no, only this much I can fit, right? Now the capacity is full. Although I need some more luggage to fit, but they denied. So now, 2 more people who are stronger than these 2 gentlemen, they can come and they push, right? So a similar thing happens when when the medicine stops responding. In spite of taking the higher dose, the highest dose of blood sugar, multiple blood sugar medicine, still the blood sugar remains high. Now what you do? Insulin. But when you take the insulin, how and what the insulin does in the body, that is something very, very important, that is something very, very interesting. That the medicine when you are taking, still the blood sugar is high, and then you started insulin, and now amazingly what you see, that your blood sugar starts becoming normal again. So how exactly the insulin works in the body, to explain, I'll just show you one video, and in this video you'll get some clue that next time when you take insulin, what is happening in the body. This is what happens when you take insulin. So, insulin and medication, they are not helping you in real sense at all. They are not helping you at all. Right? So, they are just giving you an impression that everything is going to be okay. Just think of the first time when you thought, when you were declared that you are a diabetes patient, you are not ready to accept. But then the doctor convinced you, just take the medicine and everything is going to be okay. And also you saw around your neighbors, your relation, that there are many people who are already taking pills. So you are convinced that life has to be like this only. But what happened, in spite of taking the dosage of medicine as told by the doctor for some months, still the blood sugar went high. Now what you did? You went to the doctor again with the complaint that my blood sugar is high even if I am taking the medicine. What the doctor did? He increased the dose. Right? You came back with a higher dose of medicine. Now with that medicine again the blood sugar came in the normal level, but only up to few months. Then in spite of taking that higher dose of medicine, what is happening? Still the blood sugar is high. What you will do now? Go back to the doctor. What he will do now? Increase the dose further. Now with the very, very high dose of medicine, you come back and you take the medicine, blood sugar is normal, but only up to for few months. And after a few months, in spite of taking the very, very large amount of medicine, still the blood sugar is high. What you are going to do now? Of course, you will go back to the doctor. What do you think he will do now? He will increase the dose, he will give you more stronger medicine, right? And this will keep on happening till the time either you lose your life or you lose all your money. So, it cannot be a solution. In simple fact, it cannot be a solution. Whether I talk of diabetes medicine or whether I talk of hypertension drug, it is same. So, what is the clinical trial in this case? I will toss it 100 times, right? So, what will happen in reality when we toss it 100 times? Will it come head all the time? About 50% time it will not come head. So, what I will do, as a mischievous drug company, the 50% of the trial where the result was not according to my expectation, I will hide that data. I'll hide the data. And remaining 50%, maybe with 10% of the trial which unfavorable data I will include so that it should look genuine, and I'll present to FDA the video recording of all the trials, only those trials which I want to show them. FDA will see, oh, they did about 60 times, and among them 50 times it was head and 10 times it was tail, so that is a good success rate, so they will approve it as a good product. Right? So that's how the FDA do. I'll give you the proof. Whatever I'm saying, whatever I'll say, I'll give the evidence also. Right? So these are not my imagination. I'll give a concrete evidence of each and every thing which I'm saying. Right? I'll back up with some evidences. And that too, the first line of evidence, very, very
basis of this, the FDA will approve this product. We will approve this product. Now this product will go to the market. People will try because it will give you that. But in reality, when people will try this product, what will happen?
It will fail. Now the people will start complaining to FDA, to government, right? So government will start investigation. The government, the FDA's system of investigation is such, it takes about 12 years to 18 years to complete one investigation. Until that time, this product is there in the market already. And maybe after 12 years, the FDA found that the drug company was lying. So FDA will say, okay, we ban this product. But by that time, it is already 12 years, I did a lot of business already. FDA may impose some fine on me, but that fine is a very small amount in comparison to the amount of money I earned by selling this product for the last 12 years. Right? So that is how it operates, not just for one or two medication. All the medicine you have ever known in the history of allopathic medicine, what we call. I know you will not believe me, so I will give you the concrete evidence of this. The number one journal of the world is called British Medical Journal, BMJ. You have heard all of them, right? So BMJ, about 2 years back, they started a campaign called alltrials.net. Right? If you go to alltrials.net, you will know. And the trials which were conducted but were hidden, never told to FDA so as to get their product approved, those trials are now they started publishing, right? Those hidden trials. Right? So if you read this, if you go to this alltrials.net, then you will come to know the truth about what I am saying. So any drug which you are taking, right, it is being influenced by these kind of methods, and as a result they are there in the market, and eventually most of the drugs, about 50% of drugs within the first 12 years, they are banned. Firstly they are banned in some developed country, and slowly they are banned in developing country. By that time, the pharmaceutical company, they get some new product, and that is how they maintain their profitability. Right? So here we were talking of high blood pressure. What is high blood pressure? Again, like high blood sugar, high blood pressure is not a disease. It is not categorized medically as a disease. It is not given a status of a disease. For example, suddenly I see, oh, there is a snake. What will happen? Right? I'll be threatened, and my heartbeat will be fast. I'll jump. I'll be scared. And now, right now, if you check my blood pressure, it may be 200 by 100. Certainly very, very high blood pressure. But does that mean that I'm sick? No. It is in response to what is happening, or to the circumstances. Right? Now, when the snake will vanish after some time, my blood pressure will come back to normal. So high blood pressure is always in response to the circumstances. Right? In long term and short term both, right? Circumstance, it creates a blood pressure management system in the body. You have to understand that blood pressure itself is a way to protect you from the danger, right? So trying to manipulate, trying to control it with medication, it is even more dangerous. So we must not try to control the blood pressure. Trying to control the blood pressure means we are interfering with the brain's mechanism. It's like, think of a car, you are in the back seat, the driver having one steering. But assume a car where there are steering in the back seat also, so that as a passenger, if you want, you can also control the car. Would it be a good idea? Certainly not. One car, one driver. So your body is one car and driver is the brain. Let it decide what should be the blood pressure, what should be the blood sugar, what should be the blood cholesterol. The moment you interfere it with some medication or some other method, this means that it is equivalent to a car with more than one steering. Right? One brain, one car, one driver. Right? So the moment you start deviating from these rules, you are exposing yourself to any kind of, some kind of accident. Right? So here, one important question: what should be the blood pressure? Standard blood pressure. Right? This question is very difficult to answer. If I give you this example, for example, Norway, the average blood sugar of the Norway citizen is about 150 by 90, 150 by 90, but they are the one who lives 80 years or more, Norway citizen, right? So according to the Singaporean standard or Indian standard, what they will, if any doctor from here goes to Norway, what they will say? All the people, they are high blood pressure patients, they will try to put them on a blood pressure medication. And that is not me saying this. Journal of American Medical Association 2013, that is 76% of the Norway adults will be suitable for blood pressure treatment because they are having blood pressure more than 140/90, whereas the truth is that is their normal, right? So they should not be identified as the high blood pressure patient. That is their normal, right? So what is the normal blood pressure? It depends on geographical location. It depends on your own genetic makeup. It depends on various circumstances. Right? There is nothing, no one number. If I say what is the safe driving speed in your city, can you give me one number? Safe driving speed in your city. 60. Okay, 60. I do some changes in my car and I ensure that whenever it starts, it is always at 60. Never less, never more. What will happen? Very, very dangerous. According as an expert driver, based on the circumstance, sometime I may have to bring the speed at 10 km per hour at the same place. Sometime when I'm overtaking another car, I may have to bring the speed at 100 km per hour. It all depends on the circumstance, right? So there is no one number. For example, Jarawas population. Jarawas, many of you may be knowing, a small group of tribes lives in Andaman Nicobar Island. Their average blood sugar is about average blood pressure is 100/60, and they live a long life. If any doctor goes from here to Jarawas tribe, he will identify this tribe as a low blood pressure patient. So there is no one shoe size which can fit all. At what blood pressure your body is comfortable? Who can tell? Only one person, that is you. Right? So some of you may not be comfortable at blood pressure 150/90. That can be high blood pressure for that person, right? Only for that person. So what is your safe blood pressure limit? That varies from person to person, and only that person can identify about it, right? So if you talk about the history of blood pressure diagnostic parameter, you see before 1993, Joint National Committee Report 4, right? They said that anybody having blood pressure more than 160/100, only then you treat the patient with blood pressure drugs. Only if it is more than this. Then came JNC 5, 1993. It reduced the blood pressure standard to 140/90. Then presently, as you are saying, wherever I go to Switzerland, I go to Bangladesh, Malaysia, now in Singapore. When I ask this question, what is the healthy range of blood pressure, always I get one answer, 120/80. But if you see the medical literature, right, medical literature, I cannot see anywhere written 120/80. 120/80. At most 140/90. It is being spread by the drug companies 120/80, right? And maybe within few months, it will be further reduced to 115/75. And if it happens, only those people will be considered healthy, those who do not check their blood pressure. Okay. Anybody who will check their blood pressure will come back as a blood pressure patient, right? So the disease starts with diagnosis. Don't diagnose, you will never be ill. The moment you diagnose, right, you will be given some illness, or you will be asked to go for all kind of diagnosis till the time the doctor is able to figure out one disease for you, right? So if you want to avoid illness, the first step you have to avoid the diagnosis, not the current kind of diagnosis. So whom to believe, which number to believe among all of them, right? At least if you want to refer to any number, what should be that number? One important question. The answer of this question is in the next slide, that is Cochrane guideline, Cochrane 2012 guideline. There are many organizations like WHO, JNC 5, JNC, now it is there JNC 8, American Heart Association, American Diabetes Association. There are many associations, they release their own guidelines. About 60 or so associations in the world, they release their guideline. But one of the most authentic of them is Cochrane, because they don't accept funding from pharmaceutical companies, the most important thing. And they don't include those scientists who are having any connection with the pharmaceutical company. So if you really want to understand or follow any kind of guideline, my suggestion to you, you go to Cochrane. Cochrane, simply you type Cochrane and that website will come, and from there you get all the guidelines. And as far as blood pressure is concerned, Cochrane says any blood pressure less than 160/100 should not be treated with medicine. Only in very few cases when the blood pressure is coming 160/100 for a long period, then the medicine can benefit the patient. Right? There is a Cochrane guideline. So that is one thing. And second thing, as I told you, 73% of the diabetes patients, also the antihypertensive, are on antihypertensive drug. Center for Disease Control. You have to understand one important thing. If you are on a continuous diabetes medication, it causes high blood pressure. If you are continuously on hypertension drugs, it causes high blood sugar. Right? So if you want to get cured of high blood pressure, you have to stop the diabetes medicine. It is a vice versa kind of thing. Right? So now one mindset which we have to rethink about. The mindset is lower the blood sugar, better is the health. Lower the blood pressure, better is the health. That is one mindset which we have gained in last several years. Repeatedly we are told that you have to keep down your blood sugar. Lesser the blood sugar, better the health. Right? So, but what the literature says, what the scientific evidence says, I'll give you one very strong evidence. Accord trial, one of the biggest ever trial on diabetic medication. They simply say that there are two groups of people. One group, they maintain the blood sugar less than 150 mg per deciliter, or in millimole less than 8.3 millimole per liter. And the second group of people, they maintain a blood sugar less than 12.7 millimole per liter, or about 228 milliliter per deciliter. Right? These are two. The people who are maintaining a lesser blood sugar, they are having 22% more death. They had 36% more cardiovascular related death. Right? So you see, the people who are maintaining a blood sugar less than this number with medication, they are dying faster than the people who are having a relatively higher blood sugar, the kind of blood sugar which is known as diabetes. Right? So here, the point I want to make, let's say you are having a blood sugar 250 mg per deciliter, about 14 millimole, which any doctor will say is very high blood sugar. True. But if you try to reduce it by using medicine and bring your blood sugar down to 150, that is about 8.3 millimole, you will be satisfied that you are getting a number which your doctor desire. But the problem is your dying chances is increased, your chances of dying of heart disease has increased, you are going to be more sick. Right? So this is strong medicine, there is strong evidence. So high blood sugar is bad, but trying to reduce it with medicine is worse. Right? So because of these evidences, now 6th March 2018, with all the evidences of last 30 years and with this strong evidence of Accord trial, the new diabetes guideline has come up. 6th March 2018. It's called ACP guideline. Anybody heard of it? No. Your doctor will never tell you. Right? Because the moment doctor tells you about this, doctor also have to tell the kind of medicine which he has recommended for last several years, you must have to stop it right now. Right? So doctor will never tell you. Right? But anyway, I'm going to give you all those links so that you can go through and refer, and then you can get the advice from the doctor again. So here I will tell you that trying to maintain a blood sugar at a range which is known to be safe range, but with medication, causes more illness in comparison to let your blood sugar be higher and don't try to decrease it with medicine. Right? These are the two choices. Right? So here, if I simplify, it's like a triangular effect. If you are on any one of the medicine, what is going to happen? It will disturb the body's homeostasis, and eventually you will be given the rest of the two medicines. If you see your personal history for most of you, you might have started with high cholesterol medication only, but within few months to few years, ultimately you are on the rest of the two medicine also. The same goes with diabetes patient, same goes with hypertension patient. With any of the medicine you may start, but eventually you are having the set of three medicines. Right? That's how it works. And it is according to FDA's warning, FDA warning 2012. Statin is the name of cholesterol lowering drug. the cholesterol lowering medicine which you are taking is called statin. And it causes diabetes, muscle damage, memory loss. Right? You are trying to reduce cholesterol, but at the cost of what? Making yourself more diabetic. Right? So, now here, very, very interesting thing. Did you ever think you take a cholesterol lowering drug and then after a few days the blood cholesterol is less, right? And you are happy because it is in a range which is known to be a safe range, right? So, but why and how the medicine reduces the blood cholesterol, right? Very, very important. So, to get the answer of this question, you go to the doctor and you ask one question. The cholesterol lowering drug, doctor, please tell me the name of the drug. Doctor will say this is called statin. But you ask what is the scientific name of cholesterol lowering drug? Scientific name of cholesterol lowering drug. The scientific name is called HMG coenzyme inhibitor. It is not cholesterol inhibitor. It is not cholesterol inhibitor. It is known as HMG coenzyme inhibitor. You can check in Google. What is the scientific name of cholesterol lowering drug? The scientific name of cholesterol lowering drug is HMG coenzyme inhibitor. It is a kind of chemical which the body produces, and the medicine which you are taking, which is supposed to be cholesterol lowering drug, it is not reducing the cholesterol. What it is reducing? That's why it is this name. Right? The scientific name of cholesterol lowering drug is HMG coenzyme inhibitor. Right? Body is producing a lot of chemical. Among this is one of the chemical, and the medicine of cholesterol which you are taking, actually it reduces this. It inhibits this. Right? And what is this chemical all about? Your body produces this chemical, and this chemical produces a pathways called mevalonate pathways. A set of reactions, and in this set of reaction, one of the things which is co-produced is cholesterol also. Try to understand. When you take that medicine which is known as cholesterol lowering drug, it blocks the production of this, the mevalonate pathways. When it blocks this, when it inhibits its functioning, what will happen? These things will not produce, and what else will not produce? Cholesterol. So actually it is not cholesterol lowering drug. It is also CoQ10 lowering drug. And you know what is CoQ10? I'll give you one example. We have in our body many kind of muscles, but muscle in hand, muscle in the legs, and when you work with those muscles, they get tired and you give them rest, isn't that? But one kind of muscle you never give rest. Which is that muscle? Heart muscles. Since the time you are born, it has been working, and you did not give even a single second rest. Did you want to give it a rest? Little bit? Right? You have been working so hard since my childhood. Why don't you take few minutes rest? You don't dare to, right? But did you ever think, without a rest, how it has been working? Restlessly. Because of one chemical which is giving it energy supply, right? The strength, and that chemical is CoQ10. Now when you are taking this cholesterol lowering drug, statin, and this is reduced, what is expected to happen? Heart disease. You'll go back to the doctor after a few months of taking cholesterol lowering drug and say, doctor, I'm feeling very weak, very exhausted. Doctor will understand. He will say, you take CoQ10 supplements. But supplement will not work the same way as the body's own production. You have to understand that, right? So, and it is not only reducing CoQ10, it is reducing some other important chemicals. And do you know, if any child is born without these chemicals, without this mevalonate pathways, what will happen? Anybody who has seen the movie Pa? Pa, anybody seen Indian movie Pa? Yeah, it is a story of a child who looks older than the father, right? So, 1 in 25 lakh, right, cases, the child is born without that pathway. And if it happens, the child looks older. It grows very old within few months, right? And that is a story of, it's called mevalonate deficiency syndrome, right? So try to understand when you are taking cholesterol lowering drug or the drug which is known as cholesterol lowering drug, you are endangering your life, right? You are stopping the production of all those important chemicals which are otherwise useful to keep you young for longer period, to keep your heart strong, to protect you from cancer, to boost your immunity. That's what the job of these all chemicals. But what you are doing, you are reducing it, right? So, because you want to reduce the cholesterol, and cholesterol itself is not a culprit. I'll tell you about it a little later. So, one thing I would like to tell you, once you go back from this hall, the first thing, those who are taking cholesterol lowering drug, you must throw it. Don't throw it, even don't give it to animals, right? You have to destroy it. Those are very, very dangerous kind of chemicals, right? Cholesterol lowering drug. They are not cholesterol lowering drug, they are the drugs which lowers this entire set of chemicals which otherwise is there in the body to protect you from diseases, to protect you from chemicals, from cancer, to make you stronger, to make you younger, right? But you start reducing it with this medicine. Now the important thing is, having understood all this thing about cholesterol, about high blood pressure, about diabetes, their medication, what you must do once you go back home from here. The steps which you have to do once you are back home. Yeah. The first thing, what I'm going to tell you now, what you have to do, these are valid for these kind of people. If you are a diabetes patient for less than 10 years, if you are a non-insulin dependent patient, you are not taking insulin, if you are not a kidney disease patient, if you are not have done angioplasty or bypass surgery, or if you never had a heart attack and brain stroke, right? So if you fulfill these conditions, then what you need to do, right, once you go back home. And those who already had a heart disease, a heart attack, those who already had a bypass surgery or angioplasty, those who are on insulin, those who are a kidney patient also, those who had a history of diabetes for more than 10 years, for them what they need to do, that will come little later, right? So now there are two group of patients, one group of patients with these things, no kidney disease, no heart disease, no angioplasty, no insulin, right? And history of diabetes less than 10 years. What they need to do, that's what I'm telling now. And once I finish with these patients, then I'll come to the patient who are having a longer history of diabetes or more complications. Right? Clear? So now what I'm going to tell is for these patients. Okay. 3 days diagnostic challenge. First, you have to decide, you have to find out whether you are a true patient or not. Right? 3 days diagnostic challenge for blood pressure, diabetes and cholesterol. And that is, you remember only one number, 250. 3 days diagnostic challenge and the number is 250. What is that? For 3 days, 72 hours, stop those medicine of blood sugar, blood pressure and cholesterol. Now, that is something which is scary, isn't it? Because you are told by the doctor, don't stop even for a single day. Many of you, what you may do, right, as my patient does after listening to my training program, they go back to the doctor and they say that today I went for a seminar, a training program, someone who is telling for 3 days only you stop these medicine. What do you think, doctor, should I do it? What do you think the response of the doctor? He will say, if you do it, I am not responsible if anything happens. Isn't it? Now what you do, you have to say, okay doctor, I believe you, I will not stop these medicine, but if anything happens now, will you be responsible? So anyway, he is not going to be responsible, right? So whether you take medicine or you don't take medicine, only one person is responsible on the earth, and that is you yourself, right? So that is a common statement globally that I am not going to be responsible if you do this or if you don't do that, right? Just come out of that. You have to understand that it is your body, it is your health, it is your responsibility, right? So I can tell you with my experience that you are not going to die, surely, because you are not protected or you are not alive because of these medication. In fact, these medication are killing you, right? So that's what we do when the patient comes to our diabetes tour. We conduct diabetes tour in Vietnam, in Malaysia, in India, in Switzerland, wherever I have centers. So the first day, before they enter our venue, they must have to drop all the medicine. We keep the medicine in a separate box and we keep on monitoring. And then finally we see only 10% of them need only 20 or 30% of the medication of the total. Rest of them don't need, right? So that's how we manage. So what I mean to say that for you, don't think that you are saved or alive because of that medication. Not at all. Rather you will feel better, right? In fact, it is seen all over the world that the mortality rate drops when the doctors go on strike. Right? Whether you talk of the strike in the London or in California, a strike happened a few years back in New Delhi and Kanpur, right? A strike happened in Israel. If you see the detail of all the strike, a good article you can read in British Medical Journal, that it is seen whenever doctors are on strike, the health of the people, it starts improving. And when the doctor come back after strike, again the people get sick. Right? It is a documented thing, even I wrote a book on it, why the mortality rate drops when the doctor goes on strike. At the end I'll give you the e-copy, e-book. So you can read the facts, you will know that it is something which is really true. So stopping the medicine will not affect you in any way, right? Any negative words effect will not be there. So that's what I've seen in last 10 years of my practice with several kind of different set of patients of different geographical area. So step one, for 3 days you stop the medicine. And because it takes about 3 days to flush out all the effect of medicine, these kind of medicine, 3 days only, right? And third day, check your blood pressure. Systolic plus diastolic. Check the blood pressure of both the hands. Systolic plus diastolic. And if together it is less than 250, that too without the effect of medicine, this means you are not a blood pressure patient. Get the point? You check the blood pressure, add the top and the bottom both together, and what should be the number less than what? 250. And this is without the effect of medicine. This means your body is managing your blood pressure on its own. You are not a blood pressure medicine, so you are free from medicine, right? So that is first thing. Now coming to blood cholesterol. There are various kind of cholesterol. About before 1998, there was this one kind of cholesterol, total cholesterol. Then came good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, LDL, HDL, triglyceride, lot of things, so as to confuse you totally, right? Because there are so many parameters that there is a good chance that one of the parameters will be here and there, and anyway you are going to get the medication. So here, after 3 days, you check your total cholesterol. If the total cholesterol without the effect of any medication is less than 250 mg per deciliter or 6.5 millimole per liter, right, then you need not to worry about cholesterol. First of all, cholesterol is not an enemy. It is not an enemy, right? But sometimes for some people, if it is more than 250, sometimes it may hurt you, sometimes, right? But if it is less than 250 without the effect of medicine, this means you need not to bother about it at all, right? You are not a high cholesterol patient, right? At the end I will give you e-book called High Cholesterol and Medical Fraud, right? You can read the e-book and you will get all the evidences in the book. So I'm skipping all the evidences because the time is limited. I have to share not a lot. So part of it I'm going to give you in e-book form so that you can cross-check, you can read in detail. Now coming to blood sugar. After 3 days of stopping the blood sugar medication, you check your blood sugar. How to check the blood sugar? Fasting blood sugar, number one. You take the fasting blood sugar. Number two, take the blood sugar before going to sleep. Assuming that you ate 2 hours before going to sleep. Clear? You take 2 blood sugar. Which one? Fasting and before going to sleep. Add both of them. Add both of them. Divide it by 2. And if the number comes less than 250 mg per deciliter or about 13.9 or 14 millimole per liter, this without the effect of medicine, this means you are not a high blood sugar patient. This is in accordance with the new diabetes guideline. The new diabetes guideline also I'll send you, at the end I'll give you the e-copy so that you can refer to what I'm saying. 6th March 2018 ACP guideline. So this is something which I have simplified for you. It is much more complicated, but I made a very simplified form which you can understand, which you can relate, which you can practice at home. So that's why I made it very, very simple for you. When you read the guideline itself, it is very, very complicated, but here it is in simple form. So now, 2 things will happen. Either all the 3 parameters are below 250, This means you're free of diabetes, free of high blood pressure, free of cholesterol medication. So this means you need not to listen to me anymore. You're already free. But what second thing can happen? That your blood sugar, your blood pressure and blood cholesterol is higher than 250 range. This means you're a patient of diabetes, you're a patient of hypertension, and maybe your cholesterol need to be little on the lower side. Now what do you think what you need to do? Even now, you should not try to reduce it with medication. But of course, you can do something so that you are able to reduce it without medication in next 3 days. Right? So here I group again the people into type 1, those who are having all the number less than 250. This means they need not to worry, they are not a patient. Right? So, but type 2, those whose any of or all of them are more than 250. For them, the first thing, don't think to reduce the number with medication, because I already explained to you, reducing the number is not equal to improving the health, if it is with medicine. If you are able to do it naturally, then it is improving health. I gave you example of blood pressure, right? If naturally your blood pressure is reducing, this means blockage is going away, right? That is good. But by taking medicine, your blood pressure is reducing, that means what? Right? Heart is pumping less. It is worse. So you have to understand, maintaining a number with medicine or maintaining a number without medicine are not the same thing. Get the point? So here the important thing is, those who will get the number more than all this, what they have to do? Step 1. Stop going to a doctor. Step 2. Order a pizza. Something which is now, right, made you happy for the first time in last 1 hour, right? I just said order a pizza, I did not say eat a pizza. I only said that you have to order it, right? Okay, now, stop going to doctor and order a pizza. This ordering a pizza will tell you, guide you what you have to do now. Very easy, very interesting, very important. Listen carefully. Imagine that you are in a pizza business. You are doing a pizza business, but you can fail a pizza business even if you have a lot of pizza in your kitchen and a lot of customers are interested to get the pizza. In spite of having a lot of pizza in your kitchen, in spite of having a lot of customers who are keen on eating your pizza, still you can fail in your pizza business in 3 different ways. Number 1, less motorbikes. You don't have people to transport it. What will happen? The pizza will get spoiled in the kitchen and the people will remain hungry there. You lose the business. Why? You don't have as many transportation system, as many motorbikes. That is what happens, what we call as diabetes type 1 children, right? Where the production of insulin. Insulin is a hormone which transports the sugar from the blood to the cells. So insulin you can compare with this motorbike, right? And these people are equivalent to the hungry cells, right? And what is this pizza? Sugar, right? So in small children, mostly in small children what happens? Their body is not able to produce enough transportation. As a result, the sugar lies in the bloodstream and the cells keeps on remaining hungry. That is what is known as diabetes type 1, right? So nowadays if you see diabetes type 1, it is increasing rapidly, isn't it, right? So when I was in school in 1992, 1990s, I don't remember even a single diabetes patient in my school or in my school life, entire school life. But now if you go to the school, you'll find in every class there will be, right, on average 1 diabetes patient, right? So that is very, very alarming, and you can do something right now. At the very onset of diagnosing of diabetes type 1, if you do this, what I'm going to tell you in the next 2 minutes, he can reverse diabetes type 1 at that moment itself, and he can be off insulin. He will never need insulin, right? He has never started insulin, he is just diagnosed. So the first wrong step which the doctor does, the moment they diagnose a child with a high blood sugar, they put him on insulin. right? Instead, what one should do, as we do in our camp, as we do, right, when we come across a patient with diabetes type 1, right, less insulin production. So, before I tell about the solution, I'm going to tell you 3 different ways to fail in pizza business. Second way to fail in pizza business is, you are having lot of pizza, you are having lot of customer, you are even having lot of transportation. Even then you may fail in the pizza business because the road is not good, right? Very bad road condition. So this means the transportation, the motorbike people, they are not able to reach the right time. They may meet with an accident. That is what is called diabetes type 2. Let's try to understand. Diabetes type 2, those who are on medication, diabetes medication, it is suitable to them, this example, right? Their body is called insulin, what we call as insulin resistant, right? Insulin resistant. Their body is producing insulin. There is motorbike, but the insulin is not able to travel. It's like motorbike is not able to travel because the road condition is not good, because there are a lot of fat deposit inside the body. In Vietnam, there are a lot of people are normally thin. They say, how I can be insulin resistant? I am so thin. They are known as, right, toffee. Thin outside, toffee, T-O, fat inside, F-I, toffee, right? Toffee kind of patient. Outside you look thin, but inside is fat. That is called insulin resistant, right? That is called something like the road condition is bad. So body is producing insulin, but insulin is not able to transport the sugar to the cells because through that, while transporting, they are being hindered, obstructed by the fat deposit inside the body. So it is not necessarily the type 2 patient will be looking fat always. They may be thin also, but inside there may be fat deposit, right? So this is the second way you may fail in pizza business. You can see the similarity with the pizza business and your body's blood sugar metabolism. Now, before I tell you how you can overcome this, what is the solution of this? Let me come to the third type of third ways to fail in pizza business. Imagine you are in a pizza business, a lot of pizza in your kitchen, lot of customer eager to eat your pizza, lot of motorbikes also, and you are in a city like Singapore, very good road condition. Even then you may fail in your pizza business because the manager who is coordinating between all, he is not able to coordinate properly, correctly, right? Because he has to take the call, order the pizza, and right time he has to tell the kitchen to start making the pizza, and right time he prepared the motorbike person. So that coordination mistake, right? Giving the wrong address, for example, right? Not able to communicate at the right time, for example. Not able to take up the phone call of the customer, for example. So if this manager who is coordinating between the whole is not a good guy, then you may fail in a pizza business even if you have rest of the things proper. This is what is known as diabetes type 3. You know type 3? Type 3 is Alzheimer's, brain disorder, Parkinson. These are clubbed together as a type 3 diabetes patient. Or the patient with metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome means the patient who are taking high blood pressure medicine, high blood sugar medicine, and cholesterol medicine together. It is, and also a little bit fat. They are known as patient of metabolic syndrome. So now it is called as diabetes type 3. So it is, the response is because of high blood sugar, or response is because of inability to coordinate. I'll give you one example. Think of an apple. The moment you think of an apple, I want to eat an apple, that thought, the brain sends the first signal to the pancreas, and pancreas start producing insulin. Now I hold the apple and I am taking it closer to my nose. The brain is sending the next signal to the pancreas. Pancreas has started enhancing the production of insulin. Now I am about to bite it. The brain is sending the third signal, and by this time already insulin is flowing in the blood, right? Now when I am eating the apple is in the stomach, sugar is going to the blood. By this time the insulin is already there, circulating in the bloodstream. Getting the point? Right? That is a perfect coordination by the brain. Here who is playing the role of the brain? This perfect coordination, right? So that is normally how the body works. But if you are a diabetes patient, you are thinking of eating anything, but brain is not coordinating with the kitchen, right? Or with the staff, maybe the pancreas. Then when you are eating, even then the brain is not telling the pancreas that you must release the insulin. Only when the sugar reaches the blood, a panic creates. Now the insulin production starts. This means the sugar has to stay in the blood for longer time. You know the point? And that is what is known as high blood sugar, right? And when the sugar is high, it disturbs the whole metabolic system of the body, and that may lead to other complications, including hypertension. Because when the sugar is staying in the blood vessel for longer period, it makes the blood vessel sticky. And when it makes the blood vessel sticky, what will happen? It will create a lot of blockages, right? The cholesterol which is flowing in the blood will get stuck. But cholesterol itself is not a culprit. Cholesterol got stuck. Why? Because the blood vessel was sticky. Reducing the cholesterol amount from the body is not a solution, right? You see, most of the people, they suffer from heart attack are the people who are already on cholesterol lowering drug. So cholesterol is never a culprit, right? So, for example, if you see there is a leakage in the bathroom, all over there is water. But water itself is not a culprit, right? So culprit is something else. So we have to understand the symptom is not the disease. That is what is very, very important. So this is known as, this is suitable example, type 3 example is suitable for people who are on multiple therapy, taking a group of medication, blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, right, heart disease medicine, they are of this kind. Now, there are 3 different ways you can fail in pizza business. Now the final 15 minutes of my training, this is what you have to do at your home. So this is the part which you really have to understand well, right? What you have to do in these 3 different situations. How you have to correct the situation, very important. So these are 3 situations. Type 1, type 2, type 3. This is type 1, this is type 2 and type 3, right? That in spite of having a lot of pizza, in spite of having a lot of sugar, in spite of the cell are hungry, even then you fail in your body system, body business, right? So you start with type 1. Here, one thing you have to understand, that your cells, all the cell in the body is not your cell. Only 10% of your body is you. 90% are the cells which are not going to die when you die. They are known as microbe. You know that, right? So when you die, those 90% of the body cell will not die, but they are the one who are known as microbe. They will just migrate from your body to some other body through the way of soil or through some other way. First it will eat up your body, then it will migrate to some other creature. So 90% of your cells are not your cell, they are the resident in your body. They are known as microbe. This is something which you already know, right? Now coming to the solution. There are about 500 different kind of microbial species which is living in your body, especially in your stomach. And one of them is known as Akkermansia muciniphila. Need not to worry about the name. One of the microbe in the body, in the stomach is this. This is the microbe which helps the body to produce insulin. This is the microbe which helps the body to produce insulin. But in some children, small children with diabetes, their body is producing less or no insulin because in their body they have a deficiency of these microbes, very less these microbes. Clear? So why? Because these microbes eat something special which is called MAC, M-A-C, MAC. So if you feed that child with MAC, MAC is a kind of food which goes in the stomach, not the Mac, Apple Mac, Mac, no. MAC is a kind of food which goes from stomach, mouth to stomach. That microbe, Akkermansia muciniphila, very difficult to remember. This microbe will eat that MAC. It will increase in number of population, and they will help the body to produce insulin. Within 2 or 3 days, the child's blood sugar will come low because the child's insulin production increase. Get the point? Now, what is the important question? What is MAC? What are the food? Very important. The next slide, the most important slide of this day. This is a research by Stanford University, November 2014, right? What is MAC? More MAC, more insulin, less diabetes. MAC full form is microbiota accessible carbohydrate. Microbiota accessible carbohydrate. Whatever you eat in this world, every food is having carbohydrate, you know. You drink milk, it is having carbohydrate. You eat meat, it is having carbohydrate. You eat fish, it is having carbohydrate. Butter, it is having carbohydrate. Bread, it is having carbohydrate. But the kind of carbohydrate which is found in fresh fruits and raw vegetable, that carbohydrate is called MAC. That particular microbe cannot eat all kind of carbohydrate. It can eat only one kind of carbohydrate, the carbohydrate which is found in fresh fruits and raw vegetable. The carbohydrate found in these fruits and vegetables are known as MAC. Right? This means the child is fed with lot of fruits, especially the sweet fruits, like mango, like chiku, or like grapes, etc. What will happen? You are feeding the child with what? Lot of MAC. And once the MAC, the carbohydrate sugar of the right kind goes in the stomach, that microbe will eat it, it will grow, it will help the body to produce insulin, and within 2 days or 3 days, within 72 hours, child's ability to produce insulin will increase, and that will reduce what? Blood sugar. So simple. So whenever a patient is diagnosed with diabetes, a small child, that moment itself, I put the child on MAC. I ask the patient's parents, stop giving dairy products, stop giving animal food, stop giving cooked food. Just for 3 days, you feed him with lot of MAC. Whenever he eats, he has to eat from here. I am not asking the child to remain hungry. In fact, I am asking the child to eat as much as he wants, but among this. The moment you do it, from the same day, the blood sugar will start becoming normal. And the word of warning, that if you decide to put the child on this, you must taper down the insulin. If you still give the same amount of insulin, what is going to happen? Hypoglycemia, the child will die. It is so powerful that you must put the child on, the child's insulin, or you must taper down the child's insulin. That is the first, the solution of the first kind of diabetes, type 1. But this the doctor will never tell, right? Because the child will never be a diabetes patient. On the other hand, the child is insulin dependent for the rest of the life. He is a customer for the pharmaceutical company for the rest of the life. So there are two paths. One, free from diabetes, and one, always being a diabetes patient, right? So this first thing, and these are all research material, right? Highly regarded research material. Although it is 2014, but we have been treating our children this way for last 10 years. Second kind of diabetes is the diabetes type 2, what we call. Those among of you, those who are taking diabetes pills, for them this example is suitable. How to get out of the diabetes pills? That means the road condition is bad. That means lot of what inside the body? Excess fat. Get the point? Excess fat in the body. This is called insulin resistant. Get the point? You have heard doctor telling you are insulin resistant, right? So this is suitable to you, for you. There is a special mechanism of the body. It is called autophagy. It is one of the very special mechanisms of the body called autophagy. Autophagy is a mechanism of the body which has got Nobel Prize 3 times. In 1974, first Nobel Prize, 2004, the second Nobel Prize, Irving Rose, second Nobel Prize, and third Nobel Prize it got only in 2016 by a Japanese scientist, Yoshinori Osumi. So this is the only mechanism of the human body which got 3 Nobel Prize. So you can well imagine how wonderful this body's mechanism could be. So what is autophagy? That I am going to explain. If your autophagy is switched on, you cannot have any illness, especially cancer, diabetes, hypertension, all these, heart disease, all these kind of things. Autophagy is the recycling process of our body. For example, you get newspaper every day, you read the newspaper, you don't throw it, even if it is useless for you. What you do? You keep on collecting it. Why? You will sell it, right? When it is enough. And what the person will do after buying it? Will he read the newspaper again? No. Recycle it. He'll make a tissue paper, isn't it? Or you may make a carry bag, or maybe some other use. Recycling. That is called autophagy. In your body, there are a lot of blockage, there are tumors, there are some kind of outgrowths. right? So our body does the same kind of recycling, which is known as autophagy, right? So, and that means that inside the tumor, if you see, there are a lot of minerals, right? There are a lot of good nutrients which the body can use. Inside the blockage, again, there you will find a lot of calcium, which are good for the body. So the body can recycle its waste. Body's ability to recycle the waste, something which has become waste, but body is able to break down and use it again for a very productive purpose, that is called autophagy. If the autophagy is closed down or if it is switched off, then you can be sick or blood sugar will keep on remaining high, right? So how to switch on body's own recycling process? How to switch on autophagy? Very simple. If you read this Nobel Prize winning Science 2016, read it carefully. It says there had not been any medicine invented yet which can help you to switch on autophagy. However, there are methods, strategies which can help you do that. There are two ways. One, fasting. What is fasting? Fasting we all know because we've been doing several kinds of fasting, religious fasting, something. But fasting with science, that is called 12 daily, 24 weekly. Means every day you eat as much as you want, but within the bracket of 12 hours. If you start eating at 7 a.m. in the morning, your last food you must complete eating at 7 p.m. And from 7 p.m. to next 7 a.m., you are fasting. Daily 12-hour fasting. I am not asking you to remain hungry. What I am asking you, whatever you want to eat, you eat, but in a bracket of 12 hours. Right? Ideally, it should be in a bracket of 10 hours. But I am giving you relaxation of 2 hours. If 12 hours doesn't work, then you have to squeeze it to 10 hours. Right? So that is called daily 12-hour fasting. Eating in a bracket of 12 hours. And remaining hungry, but not eating in the bracket of rest of the 12 hours. Weekly 24-hour fasting. Once in a week, decide that I will not eat anything. Right? If at all you want to eat, maybe a coconut water or the meat of the coconut water or some fruits, that's all. Right? If you cannot remain hungry. But once a week, 24-hour fasting and daily 12-hour fasting. That is what is called autophagy, the Nobel Prize winning Science 2016. Right? So this will solve your purpose, the problem of diabetes type 2 patient, and if those who are having blood sugar more than 250 mg per deciliter, it will come down. Get the point? Right? Now there is a third kind of diabetes patient, type 3, right? So type 3 is the one with what problem? Coordination problem. Getting the point? Those who are on multiple medicine, high blood pressure medicine, cholesterol medicine, they are taking heart disease medicine, right? Metabolic syndrome or Parkinson or all kind of mix of all kind of lifestyle disease. For them, clause 1, April 2016, they have to include HIIT in their lifestyle. They have to include HIIT in their lifestyle. What is HIIT? It is called high intensity interval training. Right? So one thing you know that if you exercise every day for 40 minutes to 60 minutes, it is good for your heart, it is good for your health, and your chances of getting ill becomes lesser. Right? Chances. It is not that you will never be ill, but the chances of getting ill becomes less. But sometime in this circumstance where in this present lifestyle you may not have 1 hour, you may not have 40 minutes, right? So how to get the benefit of 1 hour exercise, 40 minutes exercise without exercising for that long? That is called high interval intensity interval training. If you do it only for 11 minutes, right? So anybody who don't have even 11 minutes, if you say I don't have, then you don't deserve to be healthy also, right? So 11 minutes we all have, right? So just decide that I will take 11 minutes for my own health, and that too first thing in the morning, right? Right? So 11 minutes of high intensity interval training is equivalent to 40 minutes to 60 minutes of full exercise in the gym. So what you need to do in 11 minutes? I call it a kitchen slab exercise. You have a kitchen slab? Right? If you have a kitchen slab, that will serve the purpose. Right? So I'll tell you how to do and what to do. Right? So I'll give a small demo. Right? Are you able to see me here? Okay. So anyway, this video which you are shooting, I'll upload it maybe within a few days. then you can see, right, see perfectly. Okay, so it is high intensity training is kitchens use, let's say kitchen slab, this is little lower, kitchen slab is at this level normally, right? So to make it easier, you raise the height, and if the height is lesser, it is difficult. The level of difficulty depends on how high or low is the slab, right? You can choose the height where it is comfortable to you, right? Important is not to make it harder, important is make it continuous, right? How to do it? If I need to do HIIT, how I'll do it? I'll just give you one demo, right? Okay. Continuous means you have to do exercise for one part of the body, and then when one part of the body is resting, then without taking a rest, giving a rest to your heart, you do the exercise for the other part of the body, right? And when you're giving rest to the other part of the body, you're giving rest to the entire body, you again shift to the first part of the body. This means you're exercising continuously, but you're giving rest to the specific muscles. That is called a high intensity interval training. Okay, so now I'm going to do it, just a demo. Okay, you hold the slab like this, and 10 counts. 10 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So this is 1. So 10 counts. So you give strain to this muscle, and after 10 you shift back. Now this 10 counts. 1, 2. If it is difficult, you, as the legs is closer to the slab, it is easier. You want to make it difficult, move it further. Want to make it difficult, move it further. Right? It depends on your stamina or strength, but you see you're comfortable 10. So I've done 2 exercises together, 10, 10, giving the strain to this. Now I give an interval to this part. But I don't want to give a interval to my heart, to my lungs. Right? So continuously I have to work. And third exercise, I hold the slab, for example here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Right? And then giving a break to this section of the muscle, but not to the body, I do the fourth exercise. That is holding this, or holding this, or holding this. 1, 2, 3, 4, count of 10. And then again come back to the first one. What was the first one? Again this one. Second one, this one. Third one, this one. Right? Fourth one, this one. Then again first one. And you have to keep on doing till what time? 11 minutes. Right? Okay, if you are not able to do it for 11 minutes, do it for 5 minutes. Maybe next day 6 minutes. Maybe within a month 11 minutes. Right? So it is very simple. And you will be amazed that your stamina will increase. And as your stamina increases, what will happen? Your blood sugar will reduce. Very wonderful, right? So here, for example, those people who say that they have a problem with their knees, they can do the alternate, right? Instead of this, they can change like this. Hold the slab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. This is an alternate to this exercise for those who are having some problem with their knees. Right? So this is called HIIT. Include this as a part of your training program in this. Even if you are not a type 3 kind of patient, still you can include, because you never want to be a patient. So this include these 3 rules in your life, and the chances are that you will never need to visit a doctor, or you will never need to meet a people like me or like any other doctor. You will become your own doctor, right? So now, here I want to make you understood the theoretically what you need to, what is the science behind it, right? How to do it. But now, in next 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you what exactly, without a mistake, you have to do in a step-by-step fashion, right? What exactly without a mistake. So this part is going to be very, very important, and that is, Mukherjee is the last, about 5 minutes of my training. Okay. So here, I'll give you example of, with the help of this picture. This picture is taken by my own phone, mobile phone. It is a place in Andaman Nicobar. Anybody has gone to Andaman? Andaman Nicobar is a group of islands in India, and it is one of the islands. And going near to this is restricted because here the kind of people they live is called Jarawas. They are a tribe, and they live the same way as our ancestors used to live about 50,000 years back. I am not saying 500 years back, not even 5,000, 50,000 years back. 50,000 years back. So they are still living like the same, right? So I was curious, I went there and I got a chance to meet a doctor. His name was R.C. Kerr. About 20-25 years back, he got a chance to enter that place, that island, and he could make friendship with them. He is the only contact between Indian government and those tribes. And government appointed him as official representative of those tribes. And I got a chance to interact with him. I asked him, do they suffer from diabetes? He said never. I asked, what about heart disease? What about blood pressure? So he said that they always have a normal blood pressure, rather low blood pressure. They never suffer from heart disease. Only when they are attacked by wild animal, they get injured, or when they climb a tree and they fall from there, they get hurt. That is the time when he gets a chance to observe them carefully, closely, and then he gets a chance to see what is their blood sugar or blood pressure, etc. So they are all Indian, by the way. My question was that they are Indians in the way, right, as the rest of the Indian, but without heart disease, without diabetes, without cancer. Right? One kind of people without any lifestyle illness. Now, there are another kind of people I got an opportunity to meet. That is Kuwait. Kuwait is known to be one of the places with highest percentage of diabetes patients. I was there for 3 years. Now there are two kind of people, opposite. One with no history of diabetes, one with the highest prevalence of diabetes. No history, zero diabetes, very high diabetes. Both are human beings. I compared what made them sick and what made them completely healthy. And I came down to only one conclusion. These are the Jarawas kind of people. That the kind of food they choose, the Kuwaiti population, the kind of food they choose, I call it a VIP diet. And the Jarawas people, the kind of food they choose, I call them DIP diet. VIP, you know, very important person. In India, what is VIP? Anybody, any politician who can break the rules of the traffic, in spite of red signal, they can ignore the red signal. You will say, look, VIP is going, right? So anybody on whom there is no law, who is beyond the law, oh, he is a VIP, right? There are certain kind of food, when you eat, it goes to stomach. They work like a VIP. It breaks the law of the body, it directly jumps into the bloodstream, increasing the blood sugar, increasing the blood pressure, disturbing the body's homeostasis. VIP food. Right? Anybody on earth, however healthy he may be, if you are on VIP food within few days, you can be very, very sick. So I have seen the choice of food for Kuwaiti's population, it is always and always VIP food. Now, there is another kind of diet, I call it DIP, right? DIP means disciplined and intelligent people, like you and me. When we are in a traffic, how we behave? If there is a red signal, we stop. If there is a green signal, before we pass, we are careful about the other cars, etc., right? And we are careful about everything, safety of the people around us, safety of our own safety, about the law. We go by the rules. We are DIP, disciplined and intelligent people, DIP, right? So there are certain kind of food, when you take in, those food work as a DIP. If the blood sugar is already high, the food will wait in the stomach, or hide in the liver, or will be thrown through the colon, but they will not enter the blood and further increase the blood sugar. So what will happen? The blood sugar will come down. You cannot be a diabetes patient. You cannot be a heart patient. Any sick person in the world, if they can be on DIP diet, they cannot remain sick for a long time. They cannot remain sick. So, at the end of the day, what matters is how you choose the food. Decide only one thing, that before eating a food, I will see if it is DIP, I'll eat. That's all. You can never be sick, first of all. And if you are sick, you can never remain sick. Very simple, right? At this point, what is the question? What is the most important question now? How to know which is a DIP food and VIP food? So if you know this answer, everything rest can be taken care of. The next slide is the answer of this question. How to know which food is VIP and which is DIP? VIP food. Only 4 kinds of food are called VIP food. Animal food, any food coming out of animal, even dairy products, VIP food. I'm not saying dairy is a poison, I'm saying it is a food, but VIP food. Any product, any food before reaching your plate, it goes to a factory. It stays in the factory, right? VIP food. Any food in a nutritional supplement form, VIP food. All kind of medicines, VIP food. Whatever you eat, it is for your body, it is food. Right? What are DIP food? Fruits, vegetables, right? So many patients, diabetes patients, they come to me, doctor, I'm a diabetes patient, how I can eat fruits? I always say, if you're a diabetes patient, you must eat a lot of fruits, number one, and you must eat the fruits which are very, very sweet. For example, in mango season, you must eat at least 2 kg of mango if you want to get cured quickly. So, and sometimes, right, although they don't believe, but they start with small portion of fruits, and eventually they go to 2 kg, and sometimes some of my patients, in the whole day, they stay only on mangoes. So, that is the power of the fruits. You have to understand the fruit, it contains fructose, a kind of sugar. A kind of sugar which cannot mix with blood. It cannot increase your blood sugar, right? So you can experiment and you will see the result on the first day, right? I'll come to the result part within next 2 minutes. Fruits, vegetable in its raw state or in steamed form, not the cooked form. Nuts and sprouts of all kind, green leaves in its raw state of all kind, these all comes under DIP food. How it works, what is the mechanism? In 1 minute I'll brief you so that you understand and appreciate this. Like when you go on a traffic, there is a traffic signal or there is a traffic policeman. As a DIP, as an intelligent person, you understand the traffic signal, traffic policeman's language, when to stop, whether to go. Similarly, inside our stomach, there is one chemical called incretin hormone, which works in the same way as a traffic signal. Whatever you eat, when it reaches the stomach, that incretin hormone directs whether you have to stop in the stomach, whether you have to hide in the liver, whether you have to enter the bloodstream, but at what speed, so that the blood sugar is not disturbed. This is the job of incretin hormone, which is equivalent to the traffic policeman. But interestingly, the food which can understand the language of the traffic signal, that is food. Why they understand and obey the traffic signal? What is the name of the traffic policeman? Incretin, right? Because you do one experiment today. You take any vegetable or any fruit, make a juice, put the juice under a microscope and see what you see. If you make a juice, what you see inside, any fresh fruit and vegetable juice, when you put under a microscope, what you see? This. What is this? Living or non-living? It is living, right? These are known as live enzyme, right? So these are like the driver of the food, and they understand the signal from the incretin hormone. And if you cook it, these live enzymes are dead. Now the food is having a lot of nutrition, but just nutrition is not enough. Always the nutrition company, they talk in terms of nutrition, but they never talk of in terms of live enzyme. It is a live enzyme which takes the nutrition to the right place, right destination. And by cooking, processing, you kill the live enzyme. And the humans, when they start eating food without live enzyme, that food do not know when to go, where to go. That is what causes illness, right? So this live enzyme, if it is present, which is present in a good quantity in fruits, vegetables, seeds, leaves, you cannot be ill, right? And this is something which many people tried, including one very famous example, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton 2004, he had 4 bypass surgery. 2005, 1 lung surgery. 2010, 2 angioplasty. By 2010, he was very fat. You can check on Google also. And he was quite ill. Even he became mad also. And at that time, he was told about this kind of diet. He decided to follow this diet because he was really sick. And to his surprise, within few days, he got cured of heart disease. He got cured of this obesity problem. He became sharper. He became stronger. It was 2010, now it is 2018. And he never became sick again. Right? If you see him now, he is more handsome than what he was in 2010. Right? So the media, world media, they were surprised to see the transformation in Bill Clinton. They asked him, what is the secret of your new health? You listened to his answer, what he said. So.
But I did it for a different reason. I mean, I wanted to lose a little weight, but I didn't dream this would happen. I did it because after I had this stent put in, I realized that even though it happens quite often that after you have bypasses, you lose the veins because they're thinner and weaker than arteries. The truth is that they clogged up, which means that the cholesterol was still causing buildup in my vein that was part of my bypass. And thank God I could take the stents. I don't want it to happen again. So I did all this research and I saw that 82% of the people since 1986 who have gone on a plant-based, no dairy, no meat of any kind, no chicken, turkey. I eat very little fish. Once in a while I'll have a little fish, not often. If you can do it, 82% of the people who've done that have begun to heal themselves. Their arterial blockage cleans up. The calcium deposit around their heart breaks up. This movement has been led by a doctor named Caldwell Esselstyn at the Cleveland Clinic, Dean Ornish, you know, in California, the doctors Campbell, father and son, who wrote the China study, and a handful of others. But we now have 25 years of evidence. And so I thought, well, since I need to lose a little weight for Chelsea's wedding, I'll become part of this experiment. I'll see if I can be one of those that can have a self-clearing mechanism. We'll see.
I hope you're healthy for many years and
Here you've seen what Bill Clinton told, right? He has changed his diet drastically. He resorted to plant-based diet. He stopped taking dairy product, animal food, and to his surprise, within some time, he got recovered from the illness, right? He also named few doctors. One of them is China study, you might have heard, T. Colin Campbell, right? China study is the biggest ever study on human nutrition disease. This study was done over a period of 25 years and it was released on 2004. So I worked extensively using the method as given in China study research paper, and thousands of my patients in different parts of the world, they got healed. And because of that effort, when the China study book, the China study scientist T. Colin Campbell, and when the China study book, it was published in Vietnamese edition, so the China study publisher gave me the opportunity, this is the China study in Vietnamese, right? Gave me the opportunity to write the preface of this book in Vietnamese edition, right? So I have, this is the Vietnamese edition for my preface in the first page of the book. So I put my patient on this diet and I saw amazing results. What kind of results? In the next slide, as you can see, that from VIP, I call it the VIP diet, just to make it simplified. If a patient had been on diabetes pills, it takes about 72 hours to be free of the diabetes medication. For hypertension, high cholesterol and intestinal disorder, it takes about 1 week time. If you are on this diet, obesity and heart disease, it takes about 1 month time at the most. Thyroid disease sometimes takes about 2 months time also. Cancer patient, asthma patient, arthritis patient about 6 months time. Skin disorder, kidney function, liver disorder takes about 8 months time. What I mean to say, this kind of diet which I am talking about is not just limited to only diabetes, right? The moment you start doing it, as Bill Clinton told, automatically the things will get healed. So, how to take this diet? DAP diet, if you decide to take from tomorrow, the most important thing is the quantity at which it will work as a medicine. Food as a medicine. Everybody they say, doctor, but I take fruits and vegetables already every day. I take salads. But important is not what you take, important is in what quantity you take. When the food will become medicine. So here I am giving you the calculation, how to calculate what quantity is right for you, right? So the step 1, breakfast till 12 noon. Till 12 noon, whatever you take, decide that you will have only and only fruits. 3 to 4 kind of fruits of your choice, right? So only and only fruits. For example, right, any 4 kind of fruit, as I told you, it can be mango, it can be apple, it can be watermelon, whatever. But the quantity is very important. How to calculate quantity? Your body weight. For example, me, I am 70 kg into 10, 700 grams or more of 3 to 4 kind of fruits till 12 noon. This means till 12 noon nothing else is allowed. No biscuit, no bread, no pasta, no noodles, no roti, no chapati, no chawal. Only and only fruits, fruits, fruits and fruits. I am not asking you to remain hungry. In fact, I am asking you to eat a lot. But I am only saying that you have to eat fruits of variety. I am not limiting your variety also, but fruits of many variety, as many as you want, right? Every day you can change the variety. But what I am saying is, if you eat less than this, it is a food. If you eat more than this, it is a medicine, right? So you really have to calculate the quantity and decide that you have to eat more than this, right? Then it will work like a medicine. Then you will get all the benefit as you are expecting. Step 1. Step 2. Whenever you sit for lunch or dinner, always sit with 2 plates. Plate 1 and plate 2. Plate 1 and plate 2. In plate 2 you can put all the food of your delicious food which you really want to eat, which you have been eating. What do you want to eat? You want to eat roti, chawal, chole bhature, puri sabji, aloo sabji, ulta, seedha, everything, whatever you really want to eat, right? You put in plate 2 as much quantity as you wish. Put here. You want to eat fish, you want to eat, right? Whatever. Pasta you put here. But before you touch plate 2, you have to finish eating plate 1. Plate 1 is 4 kind of vegetable which you think you can eat in raw. Tomato, cucumber, radish, carrot, etc. What quantity? Very important. Your body weight into 5. I am 70 kg, so how much quantity? 350 grams of 4 kind of fruits, 4 kind of vegetable. Total 350 grams or more. If I eat this, now I am allowed to eat plate 2. I know what's going on in your mind. If I eat such amount of plate 1, I will not have a space for plate 2. Even I want that you should not touch plate 2. But I am telling you indirectly. But the truth is, first day, second day, third day, on fourth day, when you eat that much amount of plate 1, that is raw vegetable, you will feel even more hungry. Your appetite will increase, your metabolism will increase, and you will end up eating plate 2 even more quantity in comparison to what you normally eat now. So try to understand, only it is about first 3 days. On the 4th day, your body metabolism will increase and you will eat even more. So you are not going to compromise on the cooked and delicious food which you are eating presently. What I am just saying is you add plate 1 before you eat plate 2. Sometimes some clever patient they say, doctor, what if first I eat plate 2 then I eat plate 1? The result will also be opposite. Try to understand the science behind it so that you apply it perfectly well. Imagine that what happens, you are a DIP, right? That is, you follow all the traffic signal. You are a red signal is there, you are on a motorbike, on a scooter, waiting for the green light, but behind you there are some VIP, car with a red light, right? But they cannot cross because you are on their way. They are honking, but you are not moving, not giving the way. So even if they are VIP, they have to behave like DIP, they will stop because you are not giving them the way. In the same way, when you first eat the DIP food, which is the plate 1, it will cover the lining of the stomach and it will regulate the VIP food also, and they will also behave like the VIP behind you. Now other way around, if you eat the plate 2, it is something like, you might have seen that sometimes there is a VIP car going, right? So, but behind that some clever people, they follow them with their scooter or motorbike or car, right? Giving an impression that they are also part of the whole team, right? Right? So same way in the body happens. First you eat the VIP food, the cooked delicious food, and they are the ones which are VIP. They don't understand the incretin hormone signal, and incretin failed, and even by the time the DIP food reached, there is no traffic signal, there is no incretin to give them the direction, and in that case they also jump the traffic signal because there is no traffic light itself, and they also behave like a VIP. Try to understand what you have to eat, how you have to eat, in what quantity and when. All this together plays an important role to convert the food into medicine, right? Otherwise, this is a simple thing everybody eat every day. But in what quantity, in what manner, in what time, these all things plays very important role. I am just asking to make small adjustment and you see the benefit within few days. I am not saying a few months or few weeks, just few days, and as much as just 3 days, right? So, and step 3, only third step, the final step. Avoid packed food, refined food, dairy, animal food. If you really want to eat animal food, if you are an animal lover, I mean if you want to eat animal, right? So I can give you one option, I call it cheating day. Once in a week you are allowed to deviate from these rules. Anything which you do once in a day doesn't matter, right? Doesn't affect the body. If you go to gym only once a week, it doesn't make any difference, right? In the same way, right? If you eat anything which is not good for your body just once a day, once a week, it's okay. So that flexibility is there, right? So, and snacks. Nuts you can eat as snacks. Fruits you can eat as snacks as well. Coconut water you can eat as snacks. Sprouts you can eat as snacks. Hunza tea kind of, there are some kind of dishes which normally we train our diabetes tour residents, participants, so they can create their own good snacks, good food without compromising or without eating the VIP diet. And the most important thing, the last thing, the most important is sunshine. Don't forget to be under sunlight for 45 minutes if possible. If you do this, these are the 3 steps which can help you regain your health within a matter of few days. I already gave you the timeline, how much time it takes, right? So, it is more than a year when I met Mukhtyar Mr. Mukhtyar in Malaysia, and because he saw the number of patients from Singapore were going there. So he asked me that why don't you come here and help people here to be healthy again. Because you know one thing, the path of good health do not go through the medicine, right? That is very clear. Medicine cannot bring you health. It can bring you only sickness. Only when you stop the medicine, you can be healthy. And this is the tested way to get back health. So, first of all, I congratulate Mr. Mukhtyar that he took this step to invite me, and because of him today, we are together here, right? So, and Mukhtyar ji, please come on the stage. I work for Indo-Vietnam Medical Board, a board in India and Vietnam. We call it a group of doctors called Indo-Vietnam Medical Board. And the board has heard about you and your work, which you are doing for the last 20 years. So they gave me a responsibility to pass on this medal of honor from Indo-Vietnam Medical Board to you, sir. This honor means that whenever you will be in Vietnam airport, Indo-Vietnam Medical Board will be there to receive you, and it will be their responsibility as long as you wish to stay, right? So to take care of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So here, whatever you have learned till now, this method works. And for this method, you don't need any help, my help or his help, right? And you can buy fruit from anywhere, you can buy vegetables from anywhere, you can sit anywhere and eat it, right? So, only intention why I'm here and only intention why he's here is that you should get healed, number one. And once you get cured, I assume that you will spread this knowledge to your friends and neighbors, and right? That is the primary intention why today me and Mr. Mukhtyar is here, right? So, because I know I've seen thousands and thousands of patients who got healed. Only people who do not get healed are the people who do not follow the rules, right? If you follow the rule, I've never seen a single patient who did not get healed, not a single patient, right? So, some may take a little longer time, but every time they heal, because every patient is a little difficult, they have a longer history of illness, but everybody heals. So, whatever I told till this are for the patient who are having diabetes history for less than 10 years and those who are non-insulin dependent, those who are not a severe kidney patient, and those who didn't have any surgery, etc. Now coming to another 5-10 minutes, people with diabetes for more than 10 years, insulin dependent, and those who are on multiple kind of therapy for long time, right? If you are among this, then also this technique works very well, like Bill Clinton worked on him, right? But here it needs your under supervision. How to taper the drugs, how to taper the insulin, that is very important management. So those who come in this category, what they need to do once they go back home, please understand carefully, right? So that you do not commit any mistake. That is, once you go back home, this is my link, vishwaroop.com/reference, right? You can click a photograph if you want, or you can just memorize it. If you go to this reference, whatever I have, or whatever references I have given, medical evidences I have given, all those I have collected and put it in these 3 books. Whatever medical evidences I gave in last 2 hours, I put it in these 3 books, so that you can go through in detail about what I am talking about, because after all it's your health, isn't it? So this e-book you can get through this reference. So the first step, I suggest you that before you start following the diet or start taking the next step or reducing the medication, you must e-book, you can download it, right? So and then you read it. It is written in a very simple language. If you understand this language, you will understand that language also, because that book is written by me for you, right? Number 1. Number 2, once you read this, you will understand the warning, the word of warning for those who belong to these group is, as you will be on this diet, what happens? Immediately the body's homeostasis changes, immediately on the first day, in the first hour, immediately, right? Which you will never expect, because you think it is after all a food, but immediately the blood sugar drops, the blood pressure drops, the cholesterol level drops, right? And at the same speed you have to taper down the medication, which may be a little difficult for you because you are not experienced about how to taper down the medication. You cannot predict that. So my strong advice to those people who come under this group, those who are severe patient on multiple therapy and on insulin therapy, instead of doing it at home, right, you can do it under my supervision, right? Every month we conduct a diabetes camp, 3 days diabetes residential camp. We call it Diabetes Reversal Tour in India, in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, and in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City. The next diabetes tour is in next month, that is in Johor, that is in 18th, 19th and 20th, 3 days, right? So this is kind of camp, one of the camp picture you can see in a very good place, right? This is the camp of India, and people from nearby country, they come. In this particular camp, people from UK, UAE, Kuwait, Nepal, Canada, right? There were 5-6 countries participated in this camp which held in India, right? This year. So this is the kind of camp where you can join me. That is on 18th, 19th and 20th January in Johor, right? So what is the importance is, because I am going to give you food, the same food which you can buy from here and you can eat on your own also. But the problem is, what I am not sure about is, will you be able to taper down the drugs and insulin perfectly, correctly? I am not sure, right? And will your doctor help you in tapering down the drugs? I know, answer is no. Right? In that case, what will happen? Right? My purpose here is to help you get out of the illness, but that will put you in another difficulty, right? If you could not taper down the drugs carefully, right? So how I do it when you come to the camp? I use multiple kind of diagnostic method. One interesting thing I'll tell you about the blood sugar reading. The kind of reading which you take through finger prick is never perfect. You do one experiment today, you take the blood sample from all the 5 fingers and you see the reading, and all the 5 reading will be totally, right, totally different. So one of them will show 150, another will show 250, the third will show 225, fourth will show 275. Sometimes my patient come back to me and they ask, doctor, which should I believe? Which one should I believe? I say, believe the one which is the lowest or which is the one which is your favorite. Because there is no reliability. Now, if that becomes your basis of tapering down the drugs and tapering down the insulin, which itself is not reliable, that diagnostic tool itself is not reliable, then understand that you are going to be in a greater problem. So what I do, along with testing through the blood sample, we have a different kind of test mechanism. For example, you see, This is one of the test mechanisms which I use and which I recommend. It is a small sensor which I put here, right? Even I put one sensor, I will just show you. So you see, here I put one sensor, right? And if I want to check my blood sugar, right, I just so now here if I see, I can see my blood sugar for last 4 days, right? Even at the time when I was sleeping, even at the time when I was traveling. Important is later on you can have a closer view, right? So when you sleep, sometime let's say in the morning your blood sugar is 200, you see high blood sugar, I must take more medicine, right? And more medicine you take, even the blood sugar is high. What happens? It's called dawn phenomenon. Blood sugar high before going to sleep, it drops to less than 100 at 5 o'clock, and before you get up from the bed, it goes to 200. So actually it is a low sugar, and more medicine you take, more it drops and more it rebounds. Try to understand a ball, right? You forcefully, if you throw, what happens? It will go even higher. So sometimes the trick is reduce the insulin, blood sugar will lower, right? So, but when you check through your finger pricking method, you check early morning. You do not know what is the trend of the blood sugar while I was sleeping the 8 hours, and that trend tells a lot, right? So what I mean to say here is, when we diagnose only through blood sugar, only through HbA1c, do not give the complete picture. Sometimes it can be misleading, right? So that's what I am saying, and most of the time I have seen doctors are not trained about understanding the behavior of the blood sugar, right? They think that if the morning blood sugar is high, that means it's a high blood sugar. That means late in the night, the blood sugar might have gone very, very low. As a result, it was rebounded to very high blood sugar. When the blood sugar is very low, brain sends a signal to the liver, and liver throws extra sugar in the bloodstream, and when you get up, you see high sugar. But you do not, that is the incomplete story. So try to understand that the monitoring and tapering of medicine is very important, plays a very important role while in the process of healing and getting back the health. So day 1, we focus on the sugar management. Day 2, within the 24 hours to 36 hours or 48 hours, the blood pressure gets down. This means with the same speed, I have to taper down and drop your medication. Again, that is an interesting science. So we have to take the blood pressure measurement at several times depending on your medical history. And the most important, day 3, the heart sound. It takes about 1 month's time to cure the heart disease, but the effect starts within the first 3 days, within 72 hours. So for the severe heart disease patient, we record the heart sound with a digital stethoscope on the first day, heart sound the first day. We record the sound. And on third day again, we record the sound. We compare both of them. And that helps us to establish what is the condition of improvement of the heart, accordingly how to taper the medication of the heart medicine. Because tapering down is even more important than prescribing a medicine. Because if you don't taper the medicine, it may harm you. Right? So this is what we do in those 3 days. Not only we do that, we train you how you can do it for you, for yourself, as I train today. So this technique you should know, because you are the only person who stays with you 24 hours a day. So at any emergency, only one man can help you, can reach out to you, and that is you yourself, right? And most important thing, Bill Clinton, he talked about one more doctor called with his team. I got an opportunity to interact with him on several occasions. I asked him that if the patient starts on this kind of diet, which I call DIP diet, inspired from China study, how long it will take to make the person heart attack proof, that he will never suffer from heart attack. He says the first meal. The first meal is so powerful. That was his wording. His interview, I have noted in my YouTube channel. Dr. Vishnu Roy Chaudhary is my YouTube channel. You can see the complete interview of the doctor. What I mean to say, it really works, and every time it works, and it is with all the evidences. And in US, it is even covered by health insurance. For example, here you are eating fruits and vegetables as a medicine, right? So when you are eating fruits and vegetables because you want to cure yourself, so it is considered as a medicine, so it is covered under health insurance. Why I am saying is, well, I want to tell you that this is an approved system of recovering by the mainstream medical science. The only problem with this is that you get healed and you escape from becoming a customer again, right? And that is something which is not very much good for the pharmaceutical companies. So that is why this method, which is known as natural bypass means your body is opening up many new blood vessels, and which is helping you to get back your health to when you were younger by 10 years, right? That too within few days. So these things are a part of the medical education already. It is a part of the evidence-based education already, but these things are not promoted, right? That is where is my role, that is where is Mr. Muktiar's role. So thanks that you listened to me carefully, and hope to see you again. And I give the mic to Mr. Muktiar. All the best. Thank you.